Welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on the 65 Mustang. Tomorrow it goes off for the paint work, which on the quarter panels. I discussed in the previous video about the car. Previous owner had cut the quarter panels, thinking he was going to turn it into a 70s style wide fender Shelby clone. So he did a heck of a job in butchering them and never finishing. So what had to be done was the quarters were put back together, welded in new panels to replace the stuff that was butchered, getting it back to looking just as good as new. But now the paint work needs to be done. And as I also discussed in the last video, we're saving as much of the original paint as we possibly can. It's still good under there. Got a nice shine. It spent maybe 5 minutes cleaning that area there, and another 5 cleaning the top of the quarter. And that's pretty nice for original paint. And when they're original paint, you want to keep them that way, at least as much as you can. This car has a lot of cool going on, and I think the originality, the owner's doing the right thing, keeping the originality. The original decal for the trunk, weathered, worn, but very cool. I pulled off the original Pace Ford metal emblem that was attached to the car. They love to drill the holes and press them in there. So it makes fixing that pretty hard if that emblem's missing, but thankfully the emblem's there and we're rolling with it. We're going to keep that emblem on there. And if you're familiar with Mustang, the original decal that will go in the license plate area telling the shipper about the tie downs and where to hook the car up on the transporter. One thing to know is the carpet that was in this car, I had hoped to save it, but it's got too many rips, tears. It's just really degraded the fabric. It is just crumbling apart. You really can't save it, which is a shame. Love to, but you just can't. But this is how it came from the factory. We have what I think is very interesting. Sound deadener across the rear seat area. Yet no sound deadener in the rest of the floor. And trust me, this carpet was never up. The original hold-down screws were still in place. You can see the rust that was in those holes. They're just regular screws and they screw down through the carpet and underneath the seat. The seats had been pulled, but the carpet was never pulled out of the car. The only way I can verify that because of the fact that those screws were so rusty, I had to actually pull the carpet up and over them and rip the carpet. I knew at that point I wasn't saving the carpet, so it didn't really matter. I had to rip the carpet up over those screws to get the carpet out. And those screws are never out. If somebody had this carpet out, that would have been done long ago. So pretty interesting. The floors are in really good shape. They need a good cleaning now. There is a little scaly rust and stuff like that. I'll just wire wheel it and clean it up and put some of the rust converter on those areas to preserve everything. Here's something interesting. That was done from the factory. That's a big gap. That's not good. Somebody, when they put those screws in the car, when they did the installation of the drain plugs, really wasn't paying close attention. So that's definitely something I'm going to have to repair because we don't want to put the car back together with a big hole in the floor like that. So I'll fix that before we get the interior back together. Just doing a brief walk around of the car, you can see some of the paint marks that are still on it. I don't know if this is just light rust or what this is. I've got to dig into it a little further. But you can see the original red oxide still on the inner fenders on the front and the back. And then how Ford sprayed the black in like that when they did the underhood black and underbody black. Most of the underbody was still a red oxide primer, and I think it still is. There is undercoat underneath the car. And I am thinking that this car I didn't think it at first, but she may be an excellent candidate for dry ice blasting. If you go back through my archives of videos, you'll see that I dry ice blasted a 1969 Boss 302 that went to Barrett Jackson a couple years ago. That car had heavy undercoat under it, and we got it down to the original finish under the car. Really benefited that car. It was a great way to preserve, actually uncover what was preserved underneath all that undercoating. Here's something that's really cool, at least I think it's really cool. These are the original floor mats. They are stiff as a board, but they are the originals. See the FOMO Co with the part number. Original to the car. I've seen these floor mats, as stupid as it may seem, I've seen NOS ones of these go for $1,500. Yep, crazy. But guys really clamor for this stuff. They gotta have it, so they pay up for it. What I'm gonna try to do is, maybe the spring is coming soon, I'll put these out on a nice sunny day, soak them in some good hot sudsy water, see if I can't bring some life back into them, and reuse them in the car. Here is that original carpet I was talking about. You can see they like to put markings on, part numbers and such, sprayed on there through a stencil. I was hoping maybe I'd find a build sheet in this, but nothing underneath here. Could be one up in the steering column there. They're usually wrapped around the speedometer cable. You have to pull the instrument cluster out in order to get at it, but if you can find build sheets on these cars, it's well worth it. From what I understand, the owner said that there is a build sheet with the car, so if I could find another one, that'd be awesome. But if not, we do have that one. Here are the original seats in the car. We have original seat belts as well. I think the retractors on the driver's side seat belt work perfectly. The retractor on the passenger side seat belt is shot. I may send those belts out for restoration. I think this car really might warrant that. At least I have to get the retractors working again. We'll see. The seats, you can see, pulling apart at the stitches, puncture hole, more pulling apart at the stitches. Back panels are missing. So what I'm going to do, we'll recover them. Now this car came original with a fold down rear seat, many did, but the owner wants to kind of go with a Shelby theme on this car. I think it's kind of a neat way to go. He wants to put the 65 package tray on the back with a spare tire. That's a neat option, but we will keep the fold down rear seat in storage, possibly put it back in the future. You know, you never want to get rid of the original stuff. Speaking of going with the Shelby theme on this car, pretty much, other than the paint job and a set of stripes, this is essentially a Shelby GT350. They did come with aftermarket intake, or not aftermarket, but Shelby Cobra intakes, 4-barrel intakes, with a 715 Holly, along with a set of headers. So it did bump the output of the engine to what Shelby had said was about 306 from 271 horsepower of the original 289 Hipo. But what we're going to do, the engine is getting rebuilt right now. Going to end up putting a Cobra, original Cobra, 289 Cobra. I think it's probably one of the aftermarket service ones, but it's the original 2.4 Cobra intake setup on it, and kind of beef the engine up a little bit. Should be pretty fun and kind of period correct hot rodish. One thing that kind of irritates me is when someone wraps a chain around the front of these things to kind of pull it where they needed to go. Bent that right down. No easy way to fix this other than using one of these. So here we go. That's about as good as she's going to get. It's straight again. Got the seam all put back together, but man, I hate when people do that. This car lived a sheltered life. Although it was from New York, it didn't see much use. It couldn't have. As clean as this thing is. Light surface rust, which is what I think is what all this is. I think what's going on here is the old owner, in an effort to kind of clean maybe some of the undercoating off, wheeled it down past the little paint and then the primer, and then got down into exposed metal. I'll have to clean all that off. And then I'll probably have to re-detail it a little bit. I'll put the correct red oxide primer back on where it needs to be. Go with some fresh hardware. Obviously, new brake lines. God only knows what kind of shape those are in. Have all new brakes, brake hoses. This is a disc brake car, 4-piston caliper disc brake car. Clean everything up really well. Even the battery box isn't rusty. It's just a pretty amazing car. It's really cool to see this. I know you California guys are probably like, yeah, well, what's the big deal? We see these all the time. Yeah, well, this is the Northeast. Everything we get is usually garbage at this point if it's original. It's nice to see an all original, mostly not messed with car that isn't rusted to pieces. I was up here taking these screws out, and I look a little forward, and I see a coin, more specifically, a quarter. I don't know if you can see it or not. 1965. How cool is that? Somebody from the assembly line threw that in there when they're putting this car together. That's pretty cool. And no, it's not silver. Darn it. I think what we have here is what's left of maybe an original build sheet. Hard to tell. It feels, I don't know, a little too fabric-y. Maybe it isn't. Yeah, I think it's just some kind of underlayment, what's left from the carpet. Probably what had been on the carpet underneath where, if you remember, this plug being shifted over, a big hole there, probably water splashing up and in and just delaminating some of the rug, the cushion under the rug and sticking it to the floor. No build sheet, but yeah. I thought I was into something there. Interesting note, no holes were drilled on this side for either of these plugs, so that's why that one shifted over. They did put some seam sealer on it, so it kind of held for a little while, at least the rear one, and then I found this pencil underneath. Could be from 1965. Hard to say, but it was definitely under the rug. It had been there a very, very, very long time. Maybe it was from somebody from the assembly line. I don't know. Interesting. More cool stuff. I'm looking forward to really working on this car. Now you might be able to tell. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of, I always love working on original cars. It's very cool to find the interesting things that have been left behind in some of these cars through the years, and it's great to kind of document the originality that's left so I can use that on other cars that I work on. So, we're looking forward to getting this car back after the paint work is done, the buffing and everything. And we're going to do a bunch of different work on the car in the meantime with it out not being here. I have seats to recover. May have an engine that comes back. I don't know. This might be a while. Interior panels to restore. Kind of get the parts that are exterior parts that I have with the car still. Get those cleaned up and polished. There's some neat things to show you guys on that as well. Some of the history of the car. Kind of give you an insight on how it was used in the past. It's pretty cool. So if you have interest in this car, make sure you like, comment, let me know what you think, and definitely subscribe. Helps the channel grow, and you get to follow along on the cool builds like this one, and that one over there, that one there, and that car back there. Thanks for watching.